he was harassing her, he ends up getting fatally in Baltimore, where they're both from. And then recently on a live, Chrisean was like, I told him when he was to me that he was going to die, and he ended up dying. So that
nobody was prepared for this level of chaos. Not the baddies cast, not the Zeus subscribers, not Blueface, not Jaden, not even Chrisean Rock's own team, because when the Zeus CEO walked into that private boardroom at 4:29 p.m. yesterday, holding a sealed manila folder stamped confidential DNA authentication, the entire room froze like time itself had stopped, and then he said the 5 words that sent the internet into an outright meltdown. We have the real results. Yes, the real DNA results. Not the Instagram live drama. Not the TikTok speculations. Not Blueface's rants. Not Chrisean's emotional breakdowns. Not the edited narratives. Not the rumors. The actual lab, verified, doctor-reviewed. Chain of custody documented real paternity test for Junior, and the second he opened that folder, everyone knew something was wrong. His face dropped. The producer's jaws locked. Security staff shifted nervously. A cameraman whispered, "Oh my God." One exec even grabbed her chest like she was about to pass out, because the results did. Ha had been claiming for months, and they definitely did not match the storyline she'd been fighting tooth and nail to protect. According to insiders, the CEO turned the papers around, slammed them on the table, and said she tricked everybody. The cast exploded. Phones came out, yelling, crying. Somebody reportedly fainted. Another person tried to snatch the folder to see it themselves. And within minutes, a snippet of that moment leaked a blurred photo of the CEO holding the DNA sheet. And social media erupted like a nuclear bomb. Nitrogen monoxide way, Chrisean lied again. Zeus got the real test. This is worse than the Blueface drama. She tricked us all. Drop the results, RN. But here's the craziest part. A source inside Zeus claims Chrisean knew this moment was coming and tried to delay it. She allegedly begged producers to hold off and even attempted to bring in a different test from a friend's clinic. They said no. She panicked because the truth she hid for months, the truth she buried under chaos, tears, social media meltdowns, and distractions, has finally surfaced, and the Zeus CEO is ready to expose exactly how Chrisean fooled the entire internet and who the real father might be. This isn't just drama, this is war. Before the Zeus CEO ever slammed that DNA folder on the conference table, before security stepped in, before cast members started screaming, and before Chrisean Rock's entire storyline began collapsing in real time. There were months of warning signs, signs everyone ignored, signs Chrisean hid, signs Blueface mocked, signs Jaden whispered about, signs producers pretended weren't their business, signs fans brushed off as Chrisean just being Chrisean. But behind the chaos, behind the live stream meltdowns, behind the emotional explosions, there was a clock ticking. A countdown Chrisean never expected would catch her, and the first person who sensed a lie was brewing was not Blueface, was not Carlisa, was not Jaden Alexis, was not a Zeus producer. It was a junior production assistant named Kia Winston. Kia wasn't important. Her job was simple: collect paperwork from cast members, verify documents, and keep medical releases organized. But one day, months before the big reveal, Kia noticed something strange in Chrisean's binder. There were different DNA forms. 2 different clinics, 2 different dates, 2 different signatures. And one of the forms had a signature that definitely didn't look like Blueface's. Kia went to her supervisor. Her supervisor told her, "Don't touch Chrisean's folder. It's above your pay grade." That's the first sign of a cover-up. The second sign came when Blueface went on Instagram Live ranting at 3 a.m. That girl brought me a fake test. A fact test. Y'all don't see it yet, but you will. People dismissed him as bitter, unhinged, petty, still obsessed, but Blueface wasn't lying. He just didn't have the receipts yet. The third sign came from a leaked DM between Jaden and a close friend. In that message, Jaden typed, "Girl, she keeps switching labs. Why would you need 3 different tests if you're telling the truth? THREE tests." Fans thought it was shade, drama, exaggeration. Turns out, it wasn't. There really were multiple tests. The fourth sign was the strangest one. And the one Zeus executives didn't understand until recently. A medical consultant hired by Zeus received a weird request from someone on Chrisean's team. They asked if a non-biological father could be listed during TV production to avoid storyline conflict. The consultant refused. Hard TE reported it to Zeus. Executives panicked. Why would Chrisean's team need the option to list another man as the father, unless the real father wasn't who she publicly claimed? The fifth sign came from Chrisean herself. During an off-camera break while filming Baddies, Chrisean accidentally left her phone unlocked. A cast member saw her message someone, "Delete that old test now." I said, "Now." That message started a ripple effect through the Zeus hallways, because at that point, nobody knew there were old tests or why Chrisean was so desperate to get rid of them. But Chrisean did. She knew exactly. What was coming? Let's rewind even further. When Chrisean first told Zeus she was pregnant, the network was thrilled. A Chrisean pregnancy arc was guaranteed ratings gold, but their legal team needed verification before filming anything. They asked for proof of pregnancy, hospital confirmation, chain of custody DNA forms if paternity claims were involved, parental rights acknowledgementary submitted, a pregnancy test, a handwritten doctor's note, a blurry ultrasound, a half-filled DNA, formal, disorganized, all inconsistent. The legal team requested she redo the paperwork with a lab that matches their guidelines. Chrisean agreed, then ghosted them for 3 weeks. When she finally showed up, she brought a completely different DNA test from a clinic nobody had ever heard of. The legal team flagged it immediately. The signature labeled father didn't match any known handwriting samples of Blueface. The clinic name wasn't registered. The lab fax number didn't connect, but Zeus didn't press her. They needed her on screen until one day, someone from the legitimate paternity lab called Zeus headquarters directly and said, "Blueface never came to our office. We never tested him." Chaos. Instant panic. The producers held an emergency meeting. One executive said, "Why do we have multiple tests? Why does none of this match?" Another said, "We need a real medically verified test now." And that is when the Zeus CEO stepped in personally. He ordered, "No more games. We get the real test. We get the real father. We get the real truth." Chrisean resisted. She cried. She yelled. She claimed she was being bullied. She claimed Blueface was setting her up. She even threatened to quit the show if the CEO forced her to take another test. The CEO said, "That's fine. We'll do the test without you then." Panic hit her like a truck, because for the first time, the truth was out of her control. Meanwhile, someone very unexpected was feeding Zeus's information behind the scenes. A person who was tired of the lies. A person who was tired of being blamed. A person who was dragged through the mud and humiliated. That person. Blueface's mother, Carl Issa. She provided Zeus with a screenshot showing Chrisean brought 2 different tests and tried to pass them off as the final result. 2, not 1, 2, both inconsistent, both disputed, both questionable. The CEO realized, if we don't control this, she controls the narrative. And Zeus wasn't about to let their show be destroyed by one person lying about DNA. The CEO set the appointment himself. Chrisean was notified. Blueface was notified. Legal teams were present. Cameras were rolling, and what they discovered was worse than any producer expected. The DNA didn't match the story. It didn't match the timeline. It didn't match Inez of the tests Chrisean previously showed. It matched something else, or rather, someone else. And that is where the conflict begins, when the Zeus CEO finally cornered Chrisean and Blueface into taking the official, legally supervised DNA test. Nobody in the room expected what happened next. Not the producers, not security, not the medical staff, not even Blueface, and definitely not Chrisean, who walked into that clinic acting bold, loud, and unbothered, until she saw the real doctor waiting for her. A board-certified geneticist from a nationally accredited lab. No friends clinics. No handwritten forms. No off-camera assistance. No loopholes. No wiggle room. And she knew instantly this test could not be tricked. The minute the doctor introduced himself, Chrisean's face changed. The bravado disappeared. The jokes stopped. Her voice cracked. She asked, "Wait. Who called you?" The doctor calmly answered, "The Zeus Network. We're here to verify identity, samples, and chain of custody. In other words, no more fake tests. No more lost paperwork. No more switching clinics. No more drama distractions. The truth was coming whether she liked it or not." Blueface, meanwhile, was pacing back and forth like a man about to explode. He wasn't loud. He wasn't taunting. He wasn't even smiling. He wasn't even smiling.
He just kept repeating the same sentence under his breath. "She gon' lie today. I promise you, she gon' lie today." A producer tried to calm him down, but he snapped, "Don't tell me to chill. I've been saying this for months." Security stepped in not for him, but for Chrisean, because they knew Blueface had reached his limit. The medical team began the process. Blueface was tested first. Quick swab. Identity verified. Photos taken for protocol. Chain of custody sealed. Clean. Simple. Confirmed. No. Hesitation. Then. It was Chrisean's turn, and this is where things went left. When the doctor asked her to remove her mask for identification, she froze. Producers looked at each other. The doctor repeated, "Miss Malone, I need to confirm your ID on camera." Chrisean whispered, "I don't look good today. Can we skip that part?" The doctor replied, "No, it's required." She took her mask off slowly, tears forming, hands shaking. The entire room felt off. And then she said something nobody expected. Can I call somebody first?" Blueface spun around. "Call who? Who you need to call before a DNA test?" Security pushed him back. Producers begged him to calm down. Chrisean pulled out her phone. And this is where the true conflict begins. She dialed a number she clearly memorized. It rang twice. A man answered. "Yeah," she whispered into the phone. "They making me do the real test today." The room went silent. Everyone stared. Even Blueface stopped breathing. The man on the phone said, "Stop crying. Just say you're not comfortable. Walk out." The doctor interrupted. "Miss, you cannot consult someone during the test. You must continue." The man's voice got louder. "Yo, chill. Tell him you need a minute. You're not ready for this." Blueface screamed, "Who the F, ****, you on the phone with? Who is that? Who?" Security had to restrain him. The man on the phone hung up immediately. Chrisean was crying hard now. Not emotional crying, not dramatic crying, guilty crying. She begged the producers, "Please don't make me do this test today." Please. One producer, shocked, asked gently, "Why not? If Blue isn't the father, just say it." Chrisean snapped, "'Cause IT ruins everything." That sentence shattered the room. Blueface broke free from security just long enough to scream, "So he really ain't mine. That's what this is. That's why you've been running. That's why you brought fake tests. That's why you lied to the internet." Chrisean covered her face. Producers were whispering, "Is the father someone famous? Is it the guy she was texting that night? Is it one of the entourage? Is it the trainer? Is it the football player?" Nobody could answer. Not yet. After 15 minutes of meltdown and chaos, Zeus's executives came into the room. They said one sentence, "If the test isn't done today, the show ends today." Chrisean knew that meant millions gone. Storylines dead. Her main source of income on fire. Her public image destroyed overnight. She wiped her tears, took a deep breath, and whispered, "Fine." She sat down, closed her eyes, and let the doctor take the sample. But what happened after the sample is where the shocking twist detonates. When the lab results came in 48 hours later, the Zeus CEO scheduled an urgent, private meeting with only 3 people. The legal team, Blueface Chrisean, cameras, no phones, no leaks. Or, so they thought, because a junior staffer, the same Keir Winston, who caught the double paperwork, was assigned to organize the room and accidentally overheard everything. Here's what she leaked. The lab confirmed that Blueface was not the biological father, not even close. The DNA didn't match at any marker. Blueface didn't even react at first. He just sat still, quiet, staring at the paper. Then he laughed. A long, bitter, exhausted laugh. I told y'all, I told everybody, but nobody listened. Chrisean broke down screaming. You don't understand. You don't know what I've been through. Blueface snapped back. I know you, a liar. That's what I know. The Zeus CEO tried to intervene. Stop yelling. There's more. Everyone turned. The CEO flipped to the second page of the DNA report. And what Zeus found was worse than the mismatch. The lab flagged something else. A second alarming inconsistency. According to the doctor's notes, the baby's DNA profile did not match the timeline. Chrisean publicly claimed, meaning the conception date she kept repeating online was a lie. Scientifically impossible. Blueface yelled, so you lied about the timeline too. Who were you with? Chrisean sobbed uncontrollably. Stop, please stop. The CEO slammed the folder shut, but there was one more. Twist. Kia leaked it. On the bottom of the results page was a handwritten recommendation from the geneticist. Further testing recommended potential biological father already on record. On record who? Everyone in the Zeus office froze because that meant Chrisean had already tested someone else before she ever brought Blueface into the conversation. A secret test, a hidden lab visit, a father she already suspected, someone she never wanted the public to know about, someone with a sample already in the system, and that is when the Zeus CEO realized Chrisean didn't just fake one test. She faked the entire story. The mismatch, the timeline lie, the multiple tests, the behind-the-scenes panic. She had been hiding the real father from Zeus, from Blueface, from Jaden, and from the entire internet for months. And now, Zeus had the file number, they had the match, they knew exactly who the other man was. But that is the twist coming next. The moment the Zeus CEO realized the lab had identified another man already on record, the entire investigation shifted. This wasn't about Blueface anymore. This wasn't about drama. This wasn't about, he said, she said. This wasn't even about timeline lies. This was about a hidden man, a man whose DNA was already in the system, meaning Chrisean had done a private test with him long before she dragged Blueface into the chaos. And the second that detail leaked to internal staff, people inside Zeus started connecting dots they hadn't dared to connect before, because there was one man who had been circling Chrisean for months, one man she kept randomly running into, one man her team kept trying to downplay, one man she blocked questions about in interviews, a man who was always around but never acknowledged publicly. But before we reveal his identity, let's go back to the moment the CEO confronted Chrisean about the lab note. When the CEO said, the lab says the biological father has a file on record, Chrisean's entire body went still. Not crying, not shaking, not yelling. Just still. Blueface immediately caught it. He leaned forward, eyes wide. Who is he? Who got a test with you before me? What man is already in the system? Say his name. Chrisean refused to look up. She covered her face with both hands. Breathing hard, sobbing silently. The CEO pressed. Who did you test before? We know someone else submitted DNA. We know you went to a different clinic months ago. We know the sample matches someone. She whispered, I can't do this. Blueface snapped, you did this. You've been doing this. Every day you lied to me, to the internet, to everybody. Security stepped in again, but Blueface didn't stop shouting. You had another man take a test before me, and you let me look stupid for a year. She finally screamed back, I didn't mean for it to go like this. The CEO raised his voice. Then tell us the truth. Who is he? Silence, then Chrisean broke. She whispered the name, barely audible. Blueface froze. His jaw dropped. His face went blank. The CEO blinked in confusion, then asked, him, are you serious? Chrisean nodded slowly. Tears streaming, Blueface yelled, that in asterisk, 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 that in asterisk, 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 you lead to the whole world for him. And suddenly, every producer in the room understood, because the name she whispered was someone who had been around the set many times. Someone who always slipped under the radar. Someone who Chrisean always defended for no reason. Someone who had mysteriously disappeared after the pregnancy announcement, but the true confirmation came from the lab's digital file. There was a notation, subject previously submitted as paternal. Candidate A, meaning the real father was the first man she tested. Blueface was candidate B, and all the chaos since then was a smokescreen. Here's where the escalation gets wild. When producers started digging deeper into the timeline, they discovered that this man, the real father, had been spending more time with Chrisean than anyone realized. One producer said, He was around everywhere. Events, backstage, hotel lobbies, rehearsals. Another said, she always said, that's just my friend. But the way they moved wasn't friend vibes. And then a third producer said, I saw them together one night after filming. Close, too close. Like they didn't want anyone to see. Sky from Baddies later added privately, I knew she was hiding somebody. It wasn't Blue. It was never Blue. But why did Chrisean hide him? The insider leaks explain everything. Reason number 1. The real father already has a family, a serious relationship, someone who would not tolerate this scandal. Reason number 2. He works with people who care about their image. He can't have a public baby drama. He could get blacklisted. Reason number 3. He told Chrisean he wouldn't claim the baby on camera, ever, under any circumstance. Baby on camera, ever, under any circumstance.
Reason 4. He begged her to keep his name out of the media. Off record, off camera, off everything. Reason number 5. He refused to be involved with Zeus. No filming, no drama, no storylines. And Chrisean, terrified of losing him, agreed. But when people asked, is Blueface the father? She stayed quiet. Then she nodded. Then she claimed it. Then she defended it. Then she fought over it. Then she built her entire storyline around it. Because admitting the truth meant losing him forever. And she couldn't handle that. Now here's where the second major twist detonates. A. Security guard from the clinic Chrisean visited months before the Zeus test came forward anonymously. He said she didn't come alone. The man came WITH. Her. He signed in under a different name. He waited in the hallway. They left together. Meaning the real father was present from the very beginning. He knew. He saw the results. He knew the truth before Blueface, before Zeus, before fans. And the lab confirmed it. His DNA matched perfectly. Zero dispute. Zero doubt. 100% biological father. But what made the twist even more insane was not just who he was, but how close he was to the Zeus ecosystem, because the DNA match belonged to someone who had been around the cast before, someone who had worked on adjacent projects, someone with a rising profile, someone who never wanted this. The insider message leaked one line. He's not a random person. He's someone the industry knows. And here's the nuclear part. Zeus didn't need Chrisean to say his name. The lab paperwork had the sample number, the submission date, the hospital registration. The initials of the man and his ID verification stamp they already knew. Exactly who he was. And the CEO said one sentence that changed everything. We're calling him in. Chrisean screamed. Nitrogen monoxide. Don't do that. Please don't do that. She grabbed his arm, begged, cried, hyperventilated. She kept repeating, he told me not to involve him. He told me not to. He told me. Blueface roared, I'm done with you. I'm done. This whole time it was him. The CEO walked out. A producer whispered, they're bringing him to the office. It's over for her. And that is when the second twist drops like a bomb. The man Zeus called answered on the first ring. He didn't deny it. He didn't panic. He didn't try to run. He simply said, I knew this day was coming. The CEO asked, are you willing to come in? He replied, I'll be there in 20 minutes. He hung up, and the entire Zeus building erupted into chaos. Producers running. Security preparing meeting rooms. Cast members gasping. People calling friends like, oh my God, he's coming. The real father is coming. This is about to be messy. Chrisean collapsed into a chair, whispering, I'm dead. My career is dead. Blueface laughed. It wasn't me. It was never me. And when they see who it is, oh yeah, the internet gone explode. Because the real father is someone the viewers know, someone they've seen, someone who's been around. Man who shared scenes with certain cast members. A man who fans never suspected. A man whose involvement will shift the entire internet narrative overnight. And when he walked through the Zeus doors, everybody lost their minds. But that revealed his name, his connection to Chrisean. And why he told her to keep it hidden comes next. The moment the real father said, "I'll be there in 20 minutes," Zeus headquarters transformed into a ticking bomb. People ran, phones rang non-stop. Security doubled at every hallway. Producers whispered frantically, "He's actually coming. Does he know Blueface is here? What if they fight? Do we need cameras? Do we need medics?" Because everyone in that building knew exactly what was about to happen. The truth was about to walk through the door, literally, and nobody. Not Blueface. Not Chrisean. Not the CEO. Not the cast was ready for the level of chaos that hit at 4:58 p.m. A black SUV pulled into the Zeus parking lot. Security radioed in. "He's here." Inside the building, the tension hit maximum. Blueface jumped up from his chair like a bullet. "Nah. No way. It's him. Ain't nitrogen monoxide way." He started pacing, running his hands through his hair, laughing and cursing under his breath. "You messy as hell, Rock. Messy, you really did me dirty with him." Chrisean had her head buried in her hands. Her voice kept cracking. "I never wanted this. I didn't want this to happen today. I told him it wasn't the right time." The CEO, calm but clearly shaken, instructed security, "No cameras. No filming. Not yet." A producer whispered, "But this could be the biggest scene in Zeus history." The CEO snapped, "I don't care about the show right now. This is legal." Even he knew things had gone way past entertainment. The SUV door opened, and the moment he stepped out, 3 staff members gasped out loud. A producer whispered, "Holy SH, asterisk, asterisk. Blueface is gonna lose it." Because the real father was not a random guy, not an unknown man, not a background character. He was someone who had been around filming. Someone fans had seen. Someone who had publicly defended Chrisean. Someone who was always close, too close. The person walking toward the building was Chrisean's OWN security guard, not the tall one, not the quiet one, the one who was always by her side. The one who lifted her when she fell. The one who blocked fans. The one she hugged after arguments. The one who held her hand backstage. The one fans joked acted like her boyfriend. But nobody thought the jokes were real. His name? Marcus Tank Brooks, a 28-year-old former college football player turned personal security for Zeus talent. Fans had commented for MONTHS, why her security act like her man. He always too close. The way he holds her is suspicious. Why he looked jealous when Blue around. Nobody knew how right they were when Marcus walked into the building. The temperature dropped. Blueface exploded. "I took with you. You been screwing her behind my back? You been hiding a baby? You." Security had to form a wall between them. Marcus didn't yell, didn't deny, didn't move toward Blueface, didn't get aggressive. He simply said one sentence, "I didn't know she was lying to you. I told her to tell you." Blueface lost it completely. "Oh, you a clown. You a straight clown. You thought you could hide this forever? You thought you were safe? You thought nobody would find out?" Chrisean was sobbing uncontrollably. "Stop. Please stop. I didn't want this to come out like this." A producer yelled, "Stop talking over each other. Let the man speak." The CEO raised his hand. "Marcus, the lab confirmed it. Are you acknowledging paternity?" Marcus swallowed hard. "Yes." Silence, then all hell broke loose. Blueface grabbed a chair. Security tackled him. Chrisean screamed. Producers scattered. Someone yelled, "Call the police." Another screamed, "Nitrogen monoxide cameras." No cameras. Someone else cried, Oh my God. This is real. This is really real. Marcus finally spoke again, voice breaking. I didn't force her to lie. I told her from day one she had to be honest. Blueface shouted from behind security. Why was you around my son then? Why you let me think that was my baby? Why you let me hold him? Why you let me post him? Why you let me get clowned by the internet? Marcus couldn't respond. He just looked down, and that quiet, guilty silence made Blueface scream louder. You weak? You ain't no man? You hid behind her. You let me get torn apart for months while you just stood there. The producer in the corner whispered, "This is the ugliest moment in Zeus history." Someone added, "And the internet hasn't even seen it yet." Then the Zeus CEO delivered the final public blow. This entire storyline was built on a lie. And once this goes out, social media will explode. Everyone involved needs to be ready. Chrisean collapsed again, screaming, "Please, don't air it. Please, I'll fix it. I'll fix everything." The CEO shook his head. You didn't just lie to Blueface. You lied to the entire Zeus network. You lied to the fans. You lied to the cast. You lied to the public. Blueface shouted, she lied to herself. Marcus quietly said, "I'm here to take responsibility. Whatever happens, happens." A producer whispered, "Tank just ended his whole career." Another replied, "No, Chrisean ended it for him." Outside the building, news had already leaked. Paparazzi were gathering. Fans were screaming. Commentators were live streaming. Everyone kept repeating the same sentence. Chrisean lied about the father. And it's her security guard. TikTok was melting. Twitter was on fire. YouTubers were preparing breaking news. THUMBNAILS.Carlisa posted instantly. "Y'all owe me an apology." Jaden tweeted, "Knew it." Blueface tweeted, "I tried to tell y'all," and Chrisean. She posted nothing for the first time in her life. She was silent, because the fallout had begun, and Marcus was about to say something even more shocking. The chaos inside Zeus headquarters should have slowed down once the truth was out. But instead, it got worse. Much worse, because the real twist, the twist nobody was ready for, didn't come from the DNA test. It didn't come from Blueface. It didn't even come from Chrisean's meltdown. It didn't even come from Chrisean's meltdown. It came from Marcus Tank Brooks himself. The man everyone just discovered was the real father of Chrisean's baby. After the shouting, the shaking, the screaming, Zeus security finally separated everyone into different rooms. Blueface escorted to conference room B. Chrisean, taken to the back hallway. Producers huddled in the control room, Marcus left standing alone with the CEO. And for the first time all day, there was silence. Real silence. Marcus wasn't crying, wasn't angry, wasn't defensive. He just looked. Defeated, the CEO closed the blinds, sat across from him, and asked, "Why didn't you come forward sooner?" Marcus stared at the floor. Then he said, "Because it wasn't supposed to happen." The CEO frowned. "What does that mean?" Marcus exhaled, shaking. "I wasn't supposed to be near her like that. My contract said no personal relationships with talent. If the network found out, I'd get fired, blacklisted, done." The CEO's jaw tightened. "So you hid it." Marcus nodded. "I hid it. She hid it. We both messed up. But she kept dragging it out. I kept begging her to end it quietly. She wouldn't." The CEO pressed. "You knew she told the world the baby was Blueface's." Marcus closed his eyes. "I told her to tell him. I told her to be honest. She said she would, but she didn't. And by the time she got famous off the pregnancy, she said it was too late." The CEO looked stunned. She used the baby for a storyline. Marcus swallowed hard. She used the baby to hurt Blue, to keep her fame, to stay relevant, and to keep me out of trouble. The CEO rubbed his forehead. You let the lie go on for a year. Marcus nodded slowly. I didn't think it would get this big. Meanwhile, down the hall, Blueface was still yelling. Even through walls, you could hear him. N****************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************leave You was in all my photos. You was in my house. A producer whispered, he's not wrong. Tank was everywhere. Every event, every emergency, every hospital visit. Another whispered back, this is going to destroy the internet. Back in the private room, Marcus finally revealed something that made the CEO's face go white. He said, she told me the baby wasn't mine. At first, the CEO froze. What? Marcus nodded. She said the timeline was messy. She said Blueface was the father. She said she didn't want me involved. She said she didn't want my life ruined. The CEO's voice cracked. So she lied to you too. Marcus nodded again. I didn't know the truth until she secretly tested me. When the results came back, she begged me to keep quiet. The CEO looked shocked. So even you didn't know at the beginning? Marcus shook his head. I found out the same month she started saying publicly that Blue was the dad. The CEO whispered, oh my God. Marcus continued. She told me she could control the narrative. She said Blueface would never agree to a test. She said the network would never force her. She said fans would support her no matter what. The CEO was speechless. Then Marcus said the sentence that changed everything. And she said, if the truth ever came out, the baby would be taken from her. The CEO sat back, stunned. Taken by who? Marcus stared straight into his eyes. By his family. Whose family? Marcus answered, mine. The CEO froze. Your family? Why your family? Marcus hesitated, then revealed the 7 words that detonated the entire storyline. My family sued her before. For this? Silence. The CEO leaned forward slowly. Wait. You're saying this isn't the first time? Marcus nodded. She got pregnant once before. Before Blue, before Zeus, before everything. The CEO whispered, and the father was. Marcus looked up. Me, the CEO nearly dropped his pen. You got her pregnant before this baby? Marcus nodded again. And she lied about that one too. The CEO was stunned into silence. Marcus continued. She told me she lost it. But my family didn't believe her. We demanded records. She refused. A lawsuit started. It got settled quietly. Papers sealed. The CEO whispered, does Blueface know this? Marcus shook his head. No one knows. The CEO asked, why are you telling me now? Marcus looked exhausted. Because the truth always comes out eventually. And if I don't say it first, someone else will. The CEO covered his mouth. And what about the baby now? Marcus whispered, he's my son. I want him. The CEO leaned back hard. Chrisean is going to lose it. Marcus nodded. She already did. The CEO whispered, this is going to break the internet. Then Marcus said, that's not the part you should worry about. The CEO frowned. What? Marcus looked him dead in the eye. What's coming next is bigger than me. Bigger than Blue, bigger than the baby. He paused, then said, her family is about to get involved. The CEO whispered, what do you mean? Marcus said, they're already on the way here. The CEO stood up instantly. Who? Marcus whispered, her brothers. Silence, cold, deadly silence. The CEO rushed to the door. We need more security. Now. Because if Chrisean's brothers arrive, Everything goes from a scandal to a war, and the screen goes black dot, and now, after everything that just exploded inside Zeus, after Marcus confessed he was the real father, after Blueface nearly tore the building apart, after Chrisean collapsed under the truth, after the CEO realized she lied to everybody for an entire year, and after Marcus revealed the secret pregnancy, the sealed lawsuit, the hidden test, and the fact that her brothers are already on the way to real. Chaos is just beginning, because this isn't just a paternity scandal. This isn't just a storyline collapse. This isn't just another Zeus meltdown. This is a fight that's about to spill into the public eye. A battle between families. A battle between fathers. A battle between truth and the narrative Chrisean built for months to protect her image, and to hide the one man she never wanted exposed. Now you tell me, Johnny, do you think Marcus deserves custody? Should Blueface stay involved after everything she put him through? Should Zeus air the entire confrontation uncut? Should Chrisean be held accountable for lying about the father? And what do you think is going to happen when her brothers arrive at Zeus headquarters? Your comment isn't just a comment. It's part of the investigation. It's part of the pressure. It's part of the truth-telling the internet is demanding. Right now, hit like if you think Zeus should release the full footage. Hit subscribe because the next update is going to be the wildest one yet. Turn on notifications because I will be dropping every single leaked detail the moment it hits the internet. This story isn't ending. It's evolving. It's spiraling. It's exploding into something even bigger than the DNA test. Bigger than the father reveal. Bigger than the Marcus confession. The brothers are coming. Zeus security is preparing. The building is on lockdown. And the next episode. It won't just break the internet. It will shatter it. Stay locked in. The war starts now. Locked in. The war starts now.